I'm sorry you left the stage, Pastor. It was nice doing things together with you. It always is. And everything you said was true with only one exception, and I feel called upon in the interests of accuracy and in order to preserve my reputation for veracity. So I must correct only one thing, and that is the things you said about me. I have a robust ego, but even I can't believe some of the things that you were kind enough to say. And I only mentioned it because I know you actually meant them sincerely. But it is especially meaningful for me to be here today. And I bring the apologies of Susan, who ordinarily would not miss a chance to be at New Beginnings and to continue our long-time family connection between the Lapins and the Huchs. It wasn't possible for her to be here, unfortunately. But she joins me in acknowledging something which I've told you before, and I'm going to repeat it because I don't really think that I can appear in New Beginnings Church and appear on the same stage as your pastor without me making this point. It's an acknowledgement, it's a statement, and it is a reality. And that is, my friends, that cowardice is contagious. That is why, in a war, they treat deserters very seriously. Because when you are facing fire and death from the gun barrels of the enemy, and you see somebody alongside of you collapse, squander his duty, and abandon his post, the trouble is that spreads, it catches. And so you've got to make sure you stay far away from cowardly people. And the corollary of that obviously true statement is that you have to do everything you possibly can to stay close to courageous people. Because courage is equally contagious. And, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, being friends with the people of Israel, being close with the Jewish people, being connected to Hebrew culture, which literally cemented the stones of Western civilization, it was okay. But now it isn't. Now you pay a price for that. And now, to say the things that you say, and the things that you say, and to say the things you all do by being here and being part of it and by applauding, you're putting yourself in danger. And when I say danger, it doesn't just mean endangering your career and endangering your revenue source, but it even means real physical danger. We don't know the full story of who or why or how somebody took a shot at President Trump. We don't know. But we do know one thing, and that is that if you go and spend enough time depicting people who stand on the side of the boss as evil, and you're willing to depict somebody who served as a president, oh, he's not a very nice person. Folks, that train left the station with John Fitzgerald Kennedy. He was not a very nice person. But God sometimes uses imperfect vessels. The things that he did, every president to date, since the arising of the state, has lied about moving the embassy to Jerusalem. An immensely important, not just a symbolic act, an immensely important act, but one guy did it. You know? Bypassing the murderous Palestinians and setting up a peace arrangement. One guy did it, and his name isn't Kamala Harris. You know, I'm telling you this, and I derive the courage to say it, frankly, from your leader, from your pastor. Because the man is fearless. I want to run up and shake him and say, don't you realize what could happen to you for doing the things you do? But I wouldn't do it because it would be pointless. He wouldn't listen to me. You've got to understand what we're up against today. And so speaking of these things openly and publicly and supporting them by being here and supporting them by reaching into your wallets and making these things possible, my goodness, you're building a bomb shelter for God's sake. Courage is contagious, and it's really good for all of us, but me especially, to draw of some of the courage of Pastors Larry and Tiz. And so Susan and I love being here, apart from anything else, because we leave strengthened in our commitment to his vision of civilization. Your courage, sir, is not the only thing. I appreciate something else every bit as much, and that is your friendship. And that's, I told you before I left home, Susan and I were recalling the first day we met you. And we've been drawing inspiration and courage from that friendship from that day to this. May God continue to protect you and to give you the strength to do every single day the impossible. It's impossible. A small, tiny sliver of a state that could get lost in Texas, in the Middle East, surrounded immediately, never mind at a distance, by 100 million foes, let alone the enemies in elite